Good morning, everybody. Happy Hump Day! Hump Day. Breathe Free event last night was awesome. I want to thank Joe very much for hosting. I want to thank everybody that showed up yesterday for showing up. And I want to thank the restaurant owner that brought the food out to us. It was great food. We had cheesy. What was it? Mac and cheese was super good, and then it was beans. I wasn't eating the beans. I touched the beans. Good morning, Amanda. Um, what else was there? Oh my God, the salad was so good. A couple of different dressings. There was breadsticks, big breadsticks, and then roast beef was so good. The roast beef was so tender, and he brought the Kimwek rolls, and he brought plain rolls, and it was butter, and then he had eggplant parm. Oh man, the eggplant parm was so good too. What else was there? I'm sorry for starting late, guys. I really am. I'm trying to get going earlier, but we've got some different. Good morning, Eric. Great to see you, brother. We've got some different things that are going on right now. With I do so many different things. So we got a big job that's starting up, and I'm working with a new guy. Actually, somebody that I met through these groups, and I'm very fortunate and blessed to have met Luke. Yeah, and if you guys need, I'll put this out there. I didn't really put this out there before because I couldn't take it on. I was just so busy. But we're helping Sybil. She has property, so we're jumping over to that right away. And we've got another job. Good morning, Andy. Yeah, right. Another day in paradise is right. Hey, Courtney, it was great seeing you, hon. I know you do, but it was awesome seeing you and the girls and Matt last night. Thank you so much for coming out. But so I've been busy in the morning, and Luke is doing stuff. But if you guys have any projects that you need done around your house, by all means, good morning, Dean. Oh, I love it, man. Get something, will you? You guys, I'm glad you're listening to me while you're out deer camp. Maybe they're going to bring the deer in. Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Dave. But if you guys need something done on your house, let me know. Luke's a great guy. And I got a whole network of people that I work with as well in construction that we could get some different projects done for you. But that's what I was doing this morning, so that's why I was a little bit later. I do apologize. But last night, amazing event. Joe's home is just so warm and welcoming, and he had it set up beautifully for us. He had a huge area in the living room. He had the kitchen set up for us. We had all the chairs. We brought the tables up, and he had perfect amount of seats. We probably had about 30 people that were there, and thank you so much to Heather for putting everything together. She's really amazing. And Lexi, helping. The two of them baked brownies, and they made cookies, chocolate chip cookies, which they know are my weakness. They know that I probably would have eaten them all. They were the whole plate. They were so good. And they had brownies with coconut on them. So thank you to her for making those. And thank you to everybody that showed up last night. Oh, you're welcome, Eric. My pleasure, buddy. Thank you to everybody that showed up. Thank you to everybody that helped, and thank you to the restaurant owner for coming out and delivering for us. Yeah, just being so gracious and wonderful. It was just a wonderful evening shared, and Gay Thompson was there. And Gay is tenacious and tireless with everything that she does. She really is. She, had paperwork that needed to be signed, and she had all the pens ready, and she's like, after dinner, you're going to all sign this stuff. So I love Gay to death, and I love everything that she does. And I tell you guys this, just make sure you thank these people. If you do see them out, if you see Heather, if you see Gay, if you see Joe, these people work so hard. And Nick Nazinski was out last night. So I know Nick was struggling with some personal issues and some professional issues. So he had to deal with that stuff. He had those things on her plate. Good morning, Diana. And so Diana, I read that post you put down, and it was my fault about the change of the name from Rally WNY. Anyways, it's okay. I don't know. We'll get it back, and it was just a little, miscommunication. I'm not worried about it. But it was funny. I read it. I'm like, wait a minute. How is it my fault? I'll take the blame. I don't care. So just a great event. Every Gay doing her thing. Thank those guys, and thanks so many other people. Nick Orticelli was there last night too, but Nick Nazinski finally was able to come back out. It was so awesome to see him. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, brother. And it was just great seeing all the faces that we normally see. Mark was there, of course, as was Jackie, and then Scott and Mary were there. Just all the, just it was a great group of people. And we had to kind of keep the invitations limited, guys, and I do apologize. If you do have a location, if you do have a house that, can accommodate, 30 to 40 people, we would love to host these events at your house. And it can be any day that works for you. If you want to do whatever day of the week, if you just message me and say, Pete, I have the house for it. We can, host this, and then we can do that there. A lot of the restaurants right now are very nervous and very scared about what's happening, and justifiably so, because you don't know what they're going to do. And I'm going to get into that in just a minute. So, we had a group photo, and the kids were playing games, and, it's just a very, very nice, warm evening. It's just great to see everybody getting to know one another, and that the family and the bond and the connections just growing. And that's what's so important and special about the Breathe Free events. So, what else was I going to say about that? I think that was it. Had a great time, stayed late. Max was mooching. Max, Joe's puppy, was mooching the whole time, but that's all right. Food was great. We had plenty of food. So everybody had food to take home. But, this is what I wanted to say. If you guys do want, good morning, Josh. Good morning, Leon. If you guys do, and if I don't say good morning to somebody, that it just doesn't pop up on my thing, guys. I try to get to everybody. But if you do have a home or you want to host, or even if you have a venue like, a fire hall, a building, a warehouse, business that you would want to host these things at, by all means, let me know. And we can do that with the restaurant catering it. It'll put them in a little bit less of a harm's way. At least these businesses are able to remain open now. That's probably going to change this morning. And we'll get into that in a minute as well. Excuse me. Ooh, that belching again, man. I think that's going to be the core. When the YouTube channel comes out, I'll just name it belching. When the restaurant owner, and I'm not going to say his name, when the restaurant owner started speaking last night, and I appreciated him speaking to everybody, he revealed things that we all know. And some of those things that he revealed were that this is crippling restaurants. It's crippling the restaurant industry, the bar industry, small businesses, and that is by design. No matter how polished Pulling Cars wants to be, and Cuomo wants to be out there, and how, self-righteous they want to be, and indignant they want to be towards everybody else, they're knowing and they're all knowing. And again, just because you come off in a polished way that is assertive and confident doesn't mean that the message you are sending is valid. That makes you a politician. That makes you an adept and skilled a liar, is what it makes you. And again, like I always say, as you're murdering somebody, you're smiling at them. That doesn't make a difference. And that's literally what these people are doing. Oh, this is for your good. And then you have all the people that think that. And the people that feel like it's legit this time, it's way fewer than it was last time. And Ann Moritz on our page here. And no, I don't want to knock on Ann. I really don't. But Ann is suffering from, she doesn't want the lockdowns. And I get that. But she's suffering from the same thing that everybody else is. They believe that all of these hospitals are being filled up with people again. I don't know if they are. I said, where's the proof? Show the proof. I heard from my father today, St. Joe's is being deemed the COVID hospital again, all over again. All that means, guys, is they have mastered shutdowns. They have mastered lockdowns. And if you think for a second they are going to stop when a vaccination becomes available, they are not. Because the science and all the case studies and everything else that's out there, and I'll get back to the restaurants in a minute, all of that information is out there. All the data is out there. All the states that remained open, the counties that remained open, the countries that remained open with no issues at all, they're not using any of that. We knew that they were going to do more. Good morning, Joyce. We knew that these people were going to do more lockdowns because it is feeding their ego like you would not believe. They're like, I love me this control. I love it. And there are people that literally love it. And if they don't love it, they support it. And why do they support it? Good morning, Dale. They support it because they got their stream of money coming in and they get to sit home. They get to be a teacher or a government employee, whatever agency they are, a politician or some company that is paid by a government agency, paid by the government, and they're loving life. They're loving it. The rest of us that actually have to live and have to work and have to survive, how do we do that? And that's what the restaurant owner was saying last night. And somebody else reached out to me, and I'm not going to give any details on it, but they shared the same exact thing with me about another business and the shutdowns that are there. Now, guys, the only way we beat this, it's clear. The only way we beat this is by standing up together and defying this. That's it. You know, what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to escalate it further and further and further. How courageous, how much of a patriot, how much of a warrior are you going to be? Because right now, these restaurants, they're not going to survive a second round of shutdowns. They're not. And these politicians, these criminals, they know that. They understand that. They want as few businesses out there as possible so that you are reliant upon them. That is their model. It's not conspiracy. Bill Gates has come out and said it. Elon Musk has come out and said it. New Zealand is doing it. Canada and Justin Trudeau is on camera saying it. It's in their parliament. They're talking about it. They want universal basic income, just like Mark said. That's what they want. They want as many people reliant on the government as they can. I've been talking about this for months and months and months and months. This is why we rallied to get these business owners to open up. We tried to give these business owners the courage that they could. What do you have to lose at this point as a business owner? Defy the orders. You know? Whatever employees want to leave or are going to narc on you, get rid of them. There are plenty of patriots out there that will work for you. If we don't stand up now, guys, they're content to keep it shut down 4 to 6 weeks. My ass. Right now we're at 8 months. Do you think for a second they're going to stop this shutdown? They're not. They're going to keep us shut down for 5 months. That's where it's at. While all other states, these other states, even Michigan, is going to be open, trying to impeach that idiot. Sorry, guys. They're trying to, that criminal right now, Gretchen Whitmer, because she's a criminal. She's an outright criminal. Just because you hold a position of office does not all of a sudden, make everything vanish that you're a criminal. It doesn't just evaporate at all. You're a criminal. You're behaving like a criminal. The things that you're doing to people are criminal. And now she's defying the Supreme Court or her state Supreme Court in the order that they had in doing more shutdowns. So now the legislators there are going, we're impeaching her. We don't have that option here because Cuomo, with his dictatorial powers and the way he set up everything like the mob and the mafia here, because that's what he did. He put everybody so that they would toe the line for this moment specifically. Good morning, Julie. So we don't have that option here. We've already looked into impeachment. There's no way the Democrats that are in control right now, they're not going to do it. It's just not going to happen because they're all getting paid too. So the only thing that we can't do, to support these restaurant owners is to support them financially and go to them. Right now, I know a lot of business owners are saying they're going to put the board up in the front window and they're going to bring people in the back door. That's just the way it is. Screw them. If you want to become a private membership association, you can do that as well. And then they're not going to have any authority on you. Does it suck that you're going to lose out on alcohol sales? Yeah, but at least you survive. At least you get to survive, that your business survive, and you get to bring people in and you get to cater, or if you're cutting hair or whatever it is that you're doing. If you had any misgivings about what the reasons and the justifications are for this shutdown by now, you shouldn't anymore, because it's happening again, and they're going to continuously do this, guys. They're going to continuously subject us to this stuff. The only way we do it is we have to stand up. We have to defy every order. We have to show people that they don't have to pay the fines. If SLA wants to take your license, sue them. Sue them. Let them take your license, sue them, and then let everybody come in, become a private membership association. It doesn't take any time to make that transfer over. Let people come into your establishment. Let them bring their own wine in, and that's all you have to do. But defy these orders. And then the narcs that are going to come out, take the pictures of them. We will figure out who they are with our intel team, and we will go to their houses and we will protest and rally and expose them. Department of Health officials, we know most of them, but get their names, get their identity, and then let us know who they are. Let us know who the teams of people that are coming out there with the New York State Tax Department. The only vehicle, and this is what the restaurant owner said last night, the only vehicle that they have to wield any authority, real authority or power over you right now is the SLA. And it's fear-based because people don't want to lose their ability to sell liquor within their restaurants, right? But that's really the only thing. New York State Tax Department, what are they going to do? Health Department, they have no legal authority. Good morning, Kathy. You can put a fine on somebody, but you're not going to pay it. But if you don't pay the SLA, what they're going to do is they're going to just take away your license, and then they know that's a big profit center for you. Don't pay those fines, guys. Do not pay those fines. They are non-enforceable, as proven by Stefan Mihailu. Poland crazy. He comes out and says, we got a 10-minute window for not wearing masks. And now all of a sudden we got to shut down, and, the virus is real, and we're doing this, and we're doing this, and we're doing this, and we're doing this. Where is it happening? Like, which hospitals? In Ann Moritz, I'm sorry, Ann, to call you out on this, but where's the proof? The last time when they told us back in March, they said that everything was filled, but nothing was actually filled. The floors, they said, were filled. So many cases, it was horror scene. But nobody had any video of it. Nobody had anything documenting it. All the tents that went up, nobody was in them. The Armed National Guard wasn't there. This virus is deadly to some people. That is it. 0.01 of all people from age 0 to 70. It doesn't change. And now the rhetoric is that what they're saying is that, it's mutating. Of course it's mutating. And as it mutates, it weakens. That's the way it works. And then they're saying if you caught it once, you're going to get it again, and it's more deadly the second time. Outright lie. 53 million people in the country, in the world, have had it. 4 people got it twice. All 4 people were asymptomatic, did not die. More lies. They're just pushing lie after lie after lie after lie. And guys, don't believe for a second that they're not going to say COVID-20. COVID-20 is coming. That is going to be the next thing that they said. And everybody's going to forget about COVID-19. But COVID-19 will still be there. But to get everybody to buy into it again, all over again and again and again, they're going to say it's COVID-20. So when they've run, when all the steam has run out of COVID-19, then it's going to come to be COVID-20. That's exactly what it's going to do. I know, Mark. They've already exposed themselves on COVID-21. Right? There's only one way we stop it, guys. They aren't going to stop. They are literally not going to stop. Good morning, Mary. We have to stand together, united and unified. Every opportunity and chance that we have. That is why we're building what we're doing right now. We need to attack them legally. We need to attack them criminally. We need to attack them with rallies and exposing them at their homes. We need to shove them into silence, the criminals that they are. We need to keep them so afraid of going out of their houses. We need to ban them for lives. Poland Crazy should be banned from every single restaurant, every single business, in New York, in Erie County, and in New York State. Cuomo as well. They should all be banned for life. If you as a business owner, a small business owner, don't ban these people for life, Bernstein, Zucker, what are you doing? That is an opportunity and a vehicle to actually have civil disobedience and tell these people, we've had enough, we're done. Ban them for life from your store. Put their face up on your front door and say, you are banned for life. I guarantee you the number of customers you will get into your establishment by doing that will exponentially increase. Exponentially increase. Do not give a shit about the COVID crazy people. Do not give a shit about the mask wearers, the diaper wearers. Don't give a crap about those people. I'm sorry for swearing for the kids that are listening. They don't care about us. We should not care about them. We need to utilize every single weapon, every single tool in our toolbox to fight these people. And we've been doing that. We've been sitting back, hoping it wasn't going to happen, giving them the benefit of the doubt. They've exposed themselves. The COVID tests are 80% return false positive. Elon Musk said, I took 2 tests. 2 came back positive, 2 came back negative. Where are you hearing that? It's nowhere. There was somebody else that put 1 up each nostril, and 1 came back positive and 1 came back negative. 80% of all tests are coming back as false negatives, which means that they are terrorizing people with false tests right now. And they will continue to do that over and over and over again. They've got their model to shut us down. They're not going to stop. They love the power. Cuomo is in power, dictatorial power. Poloncarz is in dictatorial power. They are both leftist, Marxist terrorists that are transactional executive and transactional attorney and governor. What does that mean? They care about one thing, themselves and the money they can make, as evidenced by Poloncarz and a hiring freeze, hiring his nephew. Bernstein making over $100,000 in overtime. Who was it? Gavin Newsom, the elitists. This is what, for all the Antifa, members of Antifa and Black Lives Matter that are out there, here's a clue. When communism comes into play, the rules don't apply to elitists. Gavin Newsom, huge birthday celebration for himself, no masks. If you want to wonder why, if it's a lie, right there. They don't believe the lies. And we've known that for months and months and months. Guys, it's time to put the foot on the gas, guys. If you need to build your groups, guys, that's how we do this. You need to collect every person on your Facebook page, every single one of them that thinks alike like you. Get them in your phone. Get their numbers down. Put their addresses down so that you know how to get to them if they shut the phones down. And I'm not going to say that they're going to do that. They didn't do that last time, but you need to do that. I know, Mary. So, there needs to be an all-out attack on people like Poloncarz, on people in government offices, every union president that supports and endorses, every superintendent, every principal. We need, and we're listing all of these people and we're getting them down so that there can be an all-out wage of war against these people. Because they don't care about us. They care about themselves. That is all they care about. They're getting their money, guys. While elderly patients, we haven't been able to see them in months and months and months, our loved ones. No plan. You can't pick up the phone and talk to them. You can't take them out of the office. Excuse me. Ooh, that's a first. Oh, 3. COVID. I got COVID. I'm testing positive. Good. And that's the other thing I tell people. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that we have come in contact with over the course of the last 8 months. We never stopped. None of us got it. None of us died from it, you know. Mike Burns, he passed away. He had COVID. That sucks, Charlie has COVID right now, allegedly. So if any of us had it, we were asymptomatic. It doesn't kill people. The statistics and the data, they show 0.01 death rate, 0 to 40, 0.05 death rate for people 0 to 70. And that's all people who struggle with any other illness. That doesn't count if you're healthy. They don't separate it. So it's even lower for healthy people. But allegedly, these hospitals are filled. Excuse me, they need to do, it's all for show. All of it's for show. And anybody that is saying otherwise is outright lying. Show me the evidence. Go in there with the video cameras. Show us that they're all filled up. It's a lie. Cuomo and Poloncarz, they are dead set intent on shutting down these businesses. And I've told you guys about this time and time again. There was a reason why the Home Depots of the world and Walmarts of the world and the Amazons of the world were called essential businesses. And small businesses weren't. There's a reason for that. And now maybe, hopefully, as these business owners see, oh shit, 50% of all the businesses that were open are now shut down. I'm going to be next. Hopefully you guys get a spine and do something. There's only so much we can do. The way we do it is you get your groups together. You get your groups together, you build your groups, you build your network, you build your team of people, you communicate with people like me, you communicate with people like Mike Segul or Jeff Capella. You get this information out to people locally so that we can be there to help you in every single way that we can, which means we will rally in front of your place, we will follow Department of Health officials, we'll make sure these Department of Health officials do not come out, New York State Tax Department doesn't come out. If they're going to come after us, they're going to have to come out after us with law enforcement. And what is law enforcement going to do? Arrest us wrongfully? What is the reason going to be for arresting us? For monitoring Department of Health and peacefully protesting in front of their homes? What are you arresting us for? You're allowing Antifa and Black Lives Matter to dox politicians, to pull politicians out of restaurants, to assault them, assail them and their wives out on the street. That's okay. But it's not okay for us to employ the same tactics on our side. Good morning, Ann. I'm sorry I mentioned you, but, we got to have proof, Ann. There has been no proof. And Ann, while I'm watching you here on this thing, and hopefully you're still watching, the first time around, and I'm glad you don't support the lockdowns, Ann. I really am. And I'm sorry your husband is dealing with this, but nobody is dying of just COVID. The stats are out there. Does it harm some people in a tough way, and does it shut you down for a week? Yes, that's called the flu. The flu shuts people down. Good morning, Colleen. That's what it does. It shuts your body down. But you lose your taste and you lose your sense of smell. Some people do, and it returns. But some people, they've got permanent lasting effects. Same with people who get the flu. I want to see the stats and the research and the proof that these hospitals are being filled up, because this is the same lie they pushed on us back in March when everybody said nobody was filling these hospitals. Nobody filled the hospital tents. Love you too, Colleen. Nobody was filling the hospital tents. Army National Guard called in and removed St. Joe's. Nobody in it. For months and months and months. Proof. Like I said, 80% of all test kits proven to be positive, false positives. Proven. Also proven the tests are too strong. It is detecting COVID, any case of COVID for the last 15 years. That's why you're seeing false positives. That's why. I want to see these hospitals that are filled. And then that are supposedly and allegedly filling up right now. I want to see all the people that they say have tested positive for this. I want to see them. Because right now, anybody that is testing positive that I know, they're putting the test. They're not even putting the test in their nose. They're not. They're putting it in a vial. They're sending it in, and it's coming back positive. This is a fact. Speaking to Department of Health officials here locally, they are saying, we know that there are 80% of these tests are coming back false positive. And then we know, Department of Health officials saying, we know that it's too strong, that it's picking up COVID from other times. That is why you're seeing a so-called spike. They called this, the leftist Marxists called this months and months and months ago. They said, 1918, there was a second spike. You know, what was the second wave? Whatever they called it. I can't remember. You guys remember what term they used? Because I can't remember which one of their in terms they used. A second spike that you're going to see. And they're trying so hard, so desperately to do everything that they can to create and manufacture this second spike. People die, guys. They die. Everybody dies every day from something. And even Anne, who says her husband is seeing this, which I want to see the proof. I absolutely want to see this proof. People die. You can't protect everyone and lock everybody down. If you are compliant with that, if you are complicit with that, you are literally killing people. We've been telling you this for months and months and months. I just talked to somebody today. Their grandfather died, 89 years old, that was left in a facility for 8 months. 8 months. And I know people. I got a text message from somebody else that is working in elderly care facilities right now. They said their heart breaks every single day because of the abuse that is taking place inside these elderly care facilities. Their heart, literally their words, my heart, I don't know who else to turn to, Pete. You're the only person that I know that can do anything about this. I need you to help me. My heart breaks every single day I go to work. Every single day they go to work. And that's just not, I would love to see the proof, Ann. I want to see the proof. Show me the proof. You know, it's this, all of a sudden this is brand new information. And nobody has been dying of this in months and months and months. Nobody has been dying. The other thing, guys, and dozens of preventatives, treatments, remedies, and cures that have been being used successfully for months and months and months, proven to be effective. So if anybody is dying of their lungs shutting down or their liver shutting down, that is called medical malpractice and medical negligence, because they know what is working to treat these people. They know. So if the hospital that your husband is working at isn't treating people with the known cures, remedies, and treatments, that is medical negligence. That is crimes against humanity. That's exactly what that is. In my opinion, it's war crimes. You're killing people. They're out there. They're known. I'm not going to believe it, Ann. I'm sorry. I just don't. And I apologize if that offends you and your husband, but show us the proof. Show us the proof, because it hasn't been there. And the numbers don't show it. And the different countries that are out there don't show what you're alleging. It just doesn't. The last time they did this to us in March and April, it just didn't happen. Cuomo coming out and saying on the phone, this isn't about science. This is about fear. That's what he said, Ann. And you can look up all this stuff and you can find it out yourself. You know, it's just insane that people are willing to buy into this all over again. And how quickly people forget how they executed this the last time against us. Oh, we got to worry, there's more people. Cases aren't deaths. Deaths are the only thing that qualify anything to be a pandemic. This does not even come close to that, to be a pandemic. Not even close. So go after the hospitals, sue the hell out of the hospitals. If somebody is dying because they have lung issues or liver issues and they're not, good morning, Brian, how you doing, bud? If they're dying because of that reason, sue everybody in that hospital. Do it. Sue the county executive. Support these businesses. We need to go after the Department of Health. And if they decide to employ law enforcement against us, then some of us are going to have to get arrested, guys. They can't arrest all of us. And what is the reason going to be that they arrest us for? Good morning, Sean. What else do we have to lose at this point? We got to stick together. We have to. These small groups, you got to create them. You got to build your network, guys. Guys, I'm taken care of. I'm taken care of. I've been planning it out. I know where I'm going to go stay. I know, what we're going to do with farming. I know what we're going to do as far as prepping and having all this stuff there. I know what we have for weapons. I know what we have for people. I've been prepping. I'm prepared. And I have multiple options. I'm blessed to have multiple options out there. I'm prepared for worst case scenario. And unfortunately, the way people are responding and reacting, it's not going to be that bad. And you show people hey, 50% of all businesses shut down though here locally. And not only did they shut down, but this business lost millions of dollars. This local business, they lost millions of dollars. And that's just not millions this is proof, guys. This is absolute proof. The businesses, the restaurants that we work with and that we support, they give us their numbers. This one was $600,000. This one was $1.2 million, $2 million. That was a governor, a tyrannical governor, and a county executive and a health department that weaponized against the people that stole that money from these people. And nobody has that conversation. No, good morning, Dan. Nobody has that conversation with anybody. Nobody says, and looks at it well, shit, that $1 million, that's employees and all the money that they're going to spend, and then all the money that goes to all the vendors from the restaurant, and then where all that other money goes to. Nobody has those conversations. And this lockdown happens again, forget about it. Other states are open. It's just not happening. Other countries are open. And the only thing they can cite, it's not even deaths. Good morning, Jeanette. It's not even deaths that they can cite anymore. It's just cases. And fear-mongering, again, with the severity of what it is. And lying to people and telling them that you're going to get it twice and it's going to be worse the second time. No! That's not science. 53 million people have had it. 4 people got it. They were asymptomatic got it twice. They were asymptomatic the first time. They were asymptomatic the second time. Didn't even know they had it. Over 1 million people have left New York City. Florida is booming. It's booming right now. Other states like Florida, South Carolina, South Dakota, booming. Nobody's dying en masse. Nobody's dying en masse. So you got a choice, guys. You either got to come up with your plan to dig in and just try to ride it out, which isn't going to happen, or you got to pack up your family and you're going to have to move to one of these other states. But guys, you're going to keep running. And where are you going to run to eventually? This is why I fight. I fight because I have family here. I fight because I have friends here. I fight because I have loved ones and people I care about here. I fight because I want to take a state back and I want to make sure that they aren't able to, because if this pillar falls, make no mistake about it. Good morning, Lee. Good morning, Karen. Make no mistake about it. If this pillar falls, New York State, which they have been setting up to fall for a very long time, you're going to see another one fall. And you're going to see another one fall. And you're going to see another one fall. That is what they're trying to do. So you either have your plan to go somewhere and hopefully you can ride it out, You go to another state where they're actually being productive and living their lives happily and peacefully, or you can fight. And you can reach out to me and you can message me, because we have so many different ways we can fight. And the numbers of people that we have are in the thousands right now, but we need to be in the tens of thousands, guys. The only way we can make this difference, and I see it and I know that, is that we have to multiply this thing by 10. Start your small groups. Get the names of the people out there that you know, think, and feel like you, and create those groups. And then message me and say, and we'll create a phone tree. We'll create that phone tree so that, hey guys, we're doing this rally today. We're doing this election today. We're doing this political training today. We're going to Poloncarz' house today. We're going to Bernstein's house today. We're going to this local politician's house today. We're going to be following Department of Health here today. We're going to be standing up and fighting against this piece of legislation today. And that's how we do it, guys. That's how we make it bigger. And all the experience that I've had in the last 8 months of building this, and then multiple years before having these ideas and wanting so badly to implement them, knowing that it was imperative that it happened, that we did this stuff to stop what was happening. Because you guys heard me talk. You guys have been hearing me talk for years, and some of you are probably like, Pete's crazy. We were all conspiracy theorists. Now all the conspiracy theories are true. And these people say, oh, well, you're still a conspiracy theorist. The stuff that's coming up, they're still calling that stuff conspiracy. We're like, you can't make this stuff up. And people will dismiss it and discredit it and invalidate it. It's here, guys. They want you so badly and desperately to believe in the new normal. This is all out war. And I've been talking about this for months. It is an all-out attack with misinformation, propaganda, lies. It's attacking your kids. It's attacking the schools, mentally, intellectually, physically, emotionally. It is an all-out concerted effort and attack on you from media, from social media, from your local governments, from politicians. All orchestrated and organized to tear you down, keep you as unhappy and upset as you possibly can be. So that you go, well, this isn't that bad. It's just like I said, when after the 15 days elapsed, I said, all those months ago, I said, what's going to happen is that distance is going to start to come, and you start to forget how things are supposed to be, and you're going to accept that things aren't as bad as they can be. They're killing your mom and dad. You can't see them. You can't go to funerals. You can't go to churches. You can't go to Thanksgiving. Couldn't go to Easter. Weren't supposed to go to Mother's Day. All right? Any of that stuff. You weren't supposed to do any of that stuff. Your kids can't go to school. You lost your job. You lost your business. Your friend lost their business. And we're sitting there going, it's not as bad as it could be. So all of you who have people in your lives to fight, I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but all of you that have people that are in it to fight, you got to get those people together. And what you got to be is, you got to be as educated as you possibly can to combat this stuff. If you want to talk about Trump with all of the leftists that are in your life, or with your husband or your wife, your girlfriend, whatever, your family, if you want to talk about them, get all the information down so that when they call him a racist, you can go, well, hey, and stay on point with Trump. Say, did you know this? Did you know this? Did you know this? Did you know who this is supporting? Did you know this is the act of legislation? And one piece of the puzzle at a time. Inform and educate them. If you have to write it down, put it in your phone. Put it in your phone. When they want to say he puts, crass things out on Twitter. Okay, why? Why does that matter? Give me an explanation why. Do you know anything that Trump has done, while he's been president? Can you name one thing? And then name all the things off to them. And then Biden, go, hey, did you vote for Biden? Because did you know he's the biggest racist that's out there? And even Kamala Harris is the biggest racist? Whoa, and be prepared. Have the list to show them. And you can, yeah, I agree, Dale. They did do it gradually. Well, in March they did. It came pretty fast in March, but they gave everybody a little bit of freedom, right? And everybody's like, everything's going to be okay. So this is why we rally, guys. This is why we march every week for freedom. That's why we do it. This weekend, 10 a.m. in Grand Island, in front of Mighty Taco, we're having a Rolling Patriots rally, all right? And our Rolling Patriots rally, we're going to be rolling around Grand Island. Guys, put your American flags out on the back of your trucks, on your cars. You know, if you got your Fiesta, put it on the back of your Fiesta and come out. I know the flag's probably going to pull the Fiesta back, so you're doing a wheelie. But come on out and be a part of that. There is no Marching Patriots event this weekend. They've got some personal things going on. But next week, the 28th, we're going to be in Cheektowaga, and we're going to be marching up and down. I believe we're going to start at Town Hall, and we're going to go down Union up to Walden, probably hang out at the corners of Walden, and then come down Union a little bit where a lot of the businesses are. So that's going to be not this week Saturday, but the following Saturday, the 28th. I can't believe that it's almost the end of November already, right? When you get into these groups, guys, be happy. You know, be jovial, be upbeat. You know, when we're at Breathe Free events, yeah, we talk about the heaviness of everything and how, you know, what we can do, just like we're doing with Command Center. You know, we're meeting every single day, talking about things every single day, legally, legislatively, elections, politically, what we're doing with our rallies, education, what we're going to do, seminars, you know, what's happening here with education, shutdowns of small businesses. We have a big plan, guys, and we're developing it one day at a time. And if you want to be a part of that in any capacity, by all means, be a part of this. You want to be a part of Breathe Free or, you know, Rally WNY or Freedom Fighters or the election stuff that's happening, or you want to run for committee or you want to run for political office, let me know, because we'll put you guys in a position to be able to accomplish that and do that. And we need people. But when you're building your groups, be happy. You know, be as excited and as exuberant and enthusiastic as you can be, because that is going to be contagious. That is what the left absolutely hates. That when they take everything away from you, they don't know what to do when you're still smiling and laughing and being happy and being together. They blows their minds. Their sociopathic, deranged, delusional minds, they can't handle it. They can't handle the fact that somebody is so strong that they can't affect them. They can't handle the fact that they're so strong-minded and so strong-willed and so strong a character in person and physically strong that they're not going to let anybody affect them negatively. Be that positive light and influence for everybody in your groups that you're doing. And then really and seriously and sincerely reach out to me so that I can put you guys in contact with the people that we need to be in contact with, you need to be in contact with, that you can do something effectively and productively and efficiently, because a lot of this stuff has already been developed. And you don't have to reinvent the wheel. If you want to reinvent the wheel, by all means, do it. You know, for example, Breathe Free New York wasn't anything until Nick thought about it, and Nick and I, we formed it, and now how many people, restaurants it's benefited, and the lives that it's touched, and how many people, you know, the people that have attended it, how many lives it's touched. You know, Marching Patriots, how many lives that's touched, and Rolling Patriots, how many lives that's touched. And it's just further and further development and extending it out and out and out. That's how we take it back. So these people who are sick and depraved and so unhappy and so miserable with life, and they've been just unhappy and resentful and spiteful towards anybody who is happy, that eventually we change that. Societally, here, culturally, we change that. So that they don't even get to be happy, so that people finally realize that, hey, tune off the news. Don't watch the local news or insist that the news is honest. Tune out the national news or insist that it's honest, or sue them into oblivion, which we need to all start suing the news. Like the Buffalo News yesterday, no place is safe. Sue them. Somebody please sue them for misinformation and lies. Please. Because they are a direct contributor to everything shutting down. And don't think for a second that that wasn't orchestrated between pulling cars and the Buffalo News. Don't think for a second that that wasn't. And Cuomo didn't have a hand in that because they want this new shutdown. They want to be justified. And, pulling cars and Cuomo, they're going to come out today and they're going to be all polished again. And they're going to be all self-righteous and indignant because they're collecting their money, right? They get to go to their parties. They get to go golfing, right? They don't have to wear masks for wherever they go, right? It's about us. It's not about them. There's no sacrifices on their end. Ban them from these restaurants. Ban them from your businesses. I know he did, Mark. He absolutely did. So ban these people from the businesses, attack them with lawsuits, defend the small businesses, defend the business owners, defend your families. By all means, guys, absolutely, 1000% have Thanksgiving. And be a super spreader, right? Make sure, guys, Christmas, embrace the holidays. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to erode the fabric of what we do in this state and in this county. They're trying to erode people to go to dances. They're trying to erode people's ability to go out and collect, the division that they want to create within us. They don't want people to celebrate holidays. Halloween, you can't have that one, right? And when will it come back? 15 days, they said. 8 months later. 4 to 6 weeks, they say. They're in another shutdown. You think they're going to open up at all over winter time? You seriously think and see that happening? Like if the vaccination comes, do you think that magically the masks are going to go away? No. They're going to come up with another reason why we have to wear the masks. COVID-20, COVID-21, it's here. They got you to buy into the fear. And research the other states. Go visit another state. Go see what happens in the rest of this state and other counties that don't subscribe to it. You're never going to hear that on the news. Go see it for yourself. Go see how other states are handling it and ask yourself, why do these kids get to go to school? Why did they get to play sports? Why did all the college teams in the South get to have 80% or 100% attendance at college games, but the NFL couldn't? Why? And nobody died and nobody caught it. Lungs and livers weren't shutting down by the masses in droves. Does that happen in some cases? Yes. But we don't know what the underlying conditions are. We just don't know that. What we do know is how many people got it and how many people died. What we do know is how many people got it and got it a second time and didn't die. We know the percentages of the death rates. We know that. There's no, well, we got to wait for, how long do you think we have to wait for the information? You know what, Mark? And Mark makes a point. In my opinion, guys, about the election, and I'm going to move past this now, get into the election. In my opinion, I believe Trump will take office. And the reason I believe Trump will take office is this. There are too many instances and cases of fraud, regardless of whether the media is covering it or not. In my opinion, I believe that the Trump team set this up. I believe that they wanted to expose Dominion in CILTA or whatever it is, whatever the other thing is that is in each one of the board of elections. I believe they wanted to expose this. I believe they wanted to expose the politicians, the mail-in ballots, and all of that. The number of votes that are going to be discounted and found, in my opinion, and then the lawsuits that are there against Dominion and what that Dominion CEO said about ensuring and guaranteeing the election, that mother effer wasn't going to win. That Joe Biden is on camera saying we've mastered election fraud. Just did that. All of that stuff adds up. And there are enough patriots, in my opinion, 70% of the vote at least came in for Trump, if it would have been valid. And I said that from the very beginning. You guys heard me say that. I believe it's even higher than that. 75%. Good morning, Pam. I believe 75% came in for Trump. And they did everything that they could to bury, suppress. And would it have been even more? I believe it would have been even more had national media covered things in an honest way, even remotely honest. Had social media not shut down all the pages. Like, did anybody find it interesting that all of a sudden Facebook and Twitter and YouTube They're still banning videos, right? But nowhere to the degree that they were attacking us before the election, right? How many votes do you think that suppressed? Tens of millions of votes, as predicted by the Harvard economist that was in front of a congressional committee that said last time was 12 to 25 million votes. This time was going to be about 40 million votes. And they did it. They employed every strategy they could to take the election away. And even in spite of that, even taking every vote that they did, Trump still beat the old record by 5 million votes. They needed to pull out their stopgap measure at the very end to get in all those ballots and do it to still beat us. You know, and I posted it today. The way you end election fraud is very simple, guys. And you know, it has to be one of these oaths that we have that we're going to build that people sign. If you commit election fraud or support or don't go after somebody that you know committed election fraud, we're not voting for you. You're not getting our endorsement. This is how elections need to be handled from now on. It's very simple, guys. No mail-in ballots. You have paper ballots only. You have voter IDs for everybody. Everybody gets a voter ID. That's it. All ballots within the polling stations, when they are filled out, you have not when they're filled out, but you have observers from both sides there at all times. Once the ballot is submitted, it's automatically counted. Why are we waiting? Why are we waiting all day to tabulate these? Let's vote. Let's get the voting done. Let's get the ballot counting done. And then that's it. Get those numbers counted and tallied. Now, you don't have any time or downtime to fudge the numbers and report. You have observers, you have paper ballots, then open up early voting. Like I said, 45 days. Allow people to get transportation to come in to do this. And only in very, very, very specific isolated instances. Now you've taken most of the vote and you've done it appropriately and accordingly. Now this goes for every election. From town justice up to the president. Now the people that are overseas that want to vote, they can do that, but now you have a much smaller pool. The people that can't get, that are absentee voting, they still have to have a proof of ID, a voter ID. And then all of those voter IDs, they're numbered. They go into a system. Very easy to do this. You put the number in a system. Once that number is accounted for, boom, that number can't vote again. You know, we talked about voter fraud 4 years ago, and people on the leftists, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. But you have people like, you know, the Democrats, Democratic politicians, Liz Warren, one of them, saying voter fraud is a thing. It is an absolute valid thing. And now we see it this year, all the different ways they employ it. So now you have a small percentage of people that are going to be absentee and overseas and military votes that are coming in, and they are assigned that voter number that can instantly lock out somebody else from voting. And then it's chronicled and it's logged, and now any of these ballots that come in after the fact, then you have that deadline. It's very simple, and then you have... they do, absolutely, Mark. And I'm going to get into that in a second. But if you address everything. Those mail-in ballots that come in after, the absentee ballots and everything else, you put a deadline of when they can come in, and people will have to adhere to it. Anything after that, it stops. And it has to be so that it coincides with election day, so that these people, you know, whatever position it is, they can be called, and we don't have to wait and be held in suspense and in abeyance. It's that simple. Pete Harding here in Cheektowaga, I could come up with that. And so many other people have come up with it. But why aren't they employing it? They're not employing it because it doesn't benefit them. Confusion and chaos benefits them. Making it as muddied and complicated as possible benefits them because they get to hide everything that they want to. Think about it back when we were growing up, guys. When we were growing up, right? How horrible. Or if a Republican if a Republican or a conservative, breaks the law, it's one thing, right? One thing. Good morning, Elizabeth. It's one thing that if you break the law and they're going to come at you, guns a-blazing. We need to be the same exact way with them. No more of this nonsense of where we have to build up a mountain of evidence. Over here, if you're a Republican conservative, if you do one thing, and usually you don't even do anything, and they falsely accuse you of it, just like they tried to do with the racist stuff, and it always ended up going back to some leftists that did it. They do it to their own cars. They're doing it to their own schools. It's a Trump supporter that did it. Oh, no, it wasn't. We saw you doing it, actually. Because they literally think they can get away with this stuff. So you have, as a conservative, one thing, they can falsely allege something that happens, they're going to come after you guns a-blazing. They can have 1, 2, 3, they can have 1,000 things, a mountain of evidence, just like we do right now for election fraud, and we're still not going after them. And you got to ask yourself, why is there that double standard? Why do we need this mountain of evidence? Only because we say we do. Because we don't act on it. We don't go against the judges and call these judges out and say in these DA's offices and make them accountable, because we don't do that. Guys, on their side, they make them accountable with their handful of people that they have that call that DA's office all the time, that call the judge, and that shouldn't be the way that it is, but it's the way that it is. When you see that double standard in justice, that's why. Well, Pete, why don't, large corporate executives go to jail? That's why. It's the good old boys club, good old girls club. Why don't politicians who have broken the law, why don't they go to jail? That's why. Because we're not insisting that these people be held accountable. And we need to hold them accountable. We have to hold them accountable. We have to, each one of us, be better, stick together in our groups to make this happen. We really do. There was something else I was going to talk about. I was able to kind of cover everything that I really wanted to, but, I think to end this today is just stay positive. I know this has been a very heavy, heavy hour or whatever it is for the live, and I do apologize for that, guys, but, there's some seriousness to it. There's a lot of weight, and it's not a joke for people. COVID is the joke. The fact that we, and so many of us, believe what's going on with COVID, that's the joke. The horrible nightmare of a joke. What's not a joke are people's lives being shut down, their businesses being stolen, being, put in fines, their heads being messed with forever. The trauma that this is creating. Elderly that are dying in facilities that they're living in squalor in. Kids just not being able to see other kids and socialize. And this threat, this impending threat that these criminals get off on, it is an absolute high. It's a documented, chronicled high that people with personalities like Poloncarz, like Bernstein, like Cuomo, they get off on this. They feed off of this. Book after book after book with, dictators and tyrants. They love having that control. We got to stick together on this. You guys, we got to fight even more. We got to build our numbers up even more. This is what I've been trying to do this whole time, and we've been doing a good job, but we need to do a much better job. We need 10 times the number of people that we have. And within the circles that we have right now, there's probably realistically, thousands and thousands of us. But we know there are hundreds of thousands of us out there that are feeling the way that we are. We know that. Start grouping everybody together. The plan is there and what we can do. Well, Pete, how do you go after Department of Health? How you go after Department of Health is we know who their people are. We know who most of their people are. We don't know who all of their people are. And we have people within the Department of Health that are informants that tell us it's all nonsense. They tell us it's all bullshit. We know the people. We have people inside those agencies. We have people that are friends with people in those agencies that report to them all the time. Nonsense, nonsense, nonsense. But they can't do anything because they're inside the Department of Health. But we at least have those insiders within the Department of Health that are reporting to us. And we have those people inside the New York State Tax Department that are reporting to us. The people that are within state troopers that are reporting to us. Local law enforcement that's reporting to us. We know it's all nonsense. They don't want to enforce this. They don't. And they know that there's no enforceability on it. And that if they do arrest somebody, or that they're ordered to arrest somebody, then what's going to end up happening is, that person's going to be arrested. They're not going to have a reason to arrest them, and they're going to have to release them out on bail. And then a person's going to have to deal with it for the next 2 or 3 months, in their head. So essentially what it is, it's an arresting of their mind. It's an arresting of their psychology, of their, it's creating this psychosis where you're so distracted and preoccupied with being arrested for something that's completely invalid, and they know they don't have anything on you. So they're either going to lie and outright concoct it like they did with Michael Kremen, which is a possibility. Lie and concoct like they did with me, which is a possibility. But if we have all of the witnesses, if we have all of the video, if we have all of the footage, we have all of those people supporting us, then they can't do anything against us. They can't. Don't pay those fines, guys. Stay open. Otherwise, you're going to shut down. When these Department of Health officials go out there, exactly. I agree totally, Mark. Absolutely. These Department of Health officials go out there in their gangs. We go watch them. We go follow them. We go back to their houses. We expose them. In local digital media and every other thing, and social media, we put their information out there. We ban them from our businesses. We never allow them to come back to any of these places. Thanks, Dale. I appreciate it. I'll see you in a little bit. So it starts that way. And then if law enforcement is going to be weaponized against the people, then we start following them. And we start going back to their homes and rallying in front of their homes. We start holding them accountable. And Department of Health officials, we have them arrested for doing what they're doing, terrorizing us. SLA employees for terrorizing us. New York State Tax Department arrested for terrorizing us, committing acts of terror. Treasonous acts, traitorous acts of terror against the people. Show us the numbers. If you want to cite and claim, you don't get to say 6%. Show the test. Let's see how many false negatives. Let's do that closed sample study that you guys want so bad, right, that you're saying it's got to be used to justify everything else. The only time you don't use it to justify anything is when foreclosures. You want to use it to justify for treatments, right? Though you're letting dozens of people die from this because you want to have this small closed case study. But for shutdowns, you don't want to have it. For the testing kits, you don't want to have it. Proven, 80% false positives. 15 years, it's going back anytime you had a COVID strain. Why do you think it's COVID-19? Because there were 18 other strains of COVID. So it's picking it up to 15 years ago, and they know this. But those case studies don't matter then. Justify the shutdown, and they can't. A lot of people are fighting, guys. Just stand up and fight. Come together. That's what we have to do at this point. I belabored that today for sure, but it's very frustrating to see the closures impending, and that you're going to see. Good morning, Bill. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. I agree. We have to. So, on a positive note, this is why I always try to have it on a positive note, right? It's not snowing. Okay, I got to go by. On a positive note, let's see, what are we going to go with today? I don't even know what to go with right now. I'm kind of stuck. I got to think of something here, right? On a positive note, there's this, okay? Build your teams, guys. Build your team of people. Have your doctors, have your Psychologists, people that you trust. Get to know a farmer, get to know somebody who has land, get to know somebody who's a good gardener, get somebody to know who's a good mechanic, and build your team of people. All right? I'm blessed to have come in contact with so many of those people that are out there and able to build the team that I have and surround myself with so many wonderful people. So many people that are so positive and upbeat and encouraged, and it's amazing to be a part of all that stuff. I guess I'll share this as on a positive note too, as I'm thinking about this. President Washington, and I think that it's 250 years ago now. And I think that, we kind of forget the seriousness of everything that happened back then, or that it's not even real. It just doesn't seem real, right? Because all you ever really see it is in a book. But President Washington, George Washington back in the day, I don't know how young that guy was. And I don't know how young the founding fathers were. I believe some of them were in their early 20s. Some were even teenagers. But you think about that. And you think about what they were able to accomplish, and what this is no less than that. What Washington did was he built up an entire network of people. And he built up spies. He built up this spy network. And he used all kinds of patriots across the country, women, everybody. And, he, along with so many other great Americans and patriots, 3%, that's why it's called the 3%ers, were able to take on the greatest military might that there was to the time, Great Britain. And they did it skillfully and tactfully. And in a time that it must have been impossible to even think about accomplishing that. And today you think about all the resources we have and how many like-minded people we have. 75% of the country, at least, that think like us. And yet here we are sitting back and doing nothing. That revolution occurred before. We don't even have to call it a revolution now, guys. It's not that difficult to dismantle. I have the plan. It's already there. We just need to act on it. The pieces of the puzzle need to come into place so that as many of us can work on this as we possibly can. And imagine this. If we take back Erie County, and guys, elections here in Erie County are fraught with fraud. Like, that is a fact. The mail-in ballots, the early mail-ins, the absentee voting and things like that, they have been stealing seats from us for decades. Fact. Just imagine if we can turn Erie County and then we use that model and template to give to everybody else. How beautiful and wonderful that'll be, but how unavoidable something like this will then be. We can do it. We just got to fight. We got to stick together. And even on that note, I know I wasn't very happy, but I think that there's some heaviness in the air today, and I'm trying to, be as encouraging and as uplifting as I can be. So, if you guys want to send a kind word today, good morning, Mike. I'd appreciate that. It'd definitely mean the world to me if you do that. But more important than me, if I'm feeling this way that I am, and agitated and aggravated, and all day is going to be a fight today. Like, don't make no mistake about it. Dale is coming over in a little bit, and we're planning everything out, and I'll be having a conversation with Jeff, and I'll be having conversations with dozens of people. Like, we're fighting all day today. Like, we're not going to stop. And the plan is getting better and better and better and better every single day. So don't think that I need the encouragement to just get myself up out of bed. Just, words of encouragement are nice. And if you guys have your friends and family that are going to be down and affected by this, take that extra time today to reach out to them, especially after the conference that comes out today, and be there for them. So I love you guys very much. Enjoy your day. It was great seeing you. If anything, I'll probably be on later today after the press conference that comes out with Poland Cars and Cuomo. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Love you.